When we talk about wealth these days, it seems to be fleeting, escaping the middle class. Some call it a wealth gap. Younger generations, millennials and Gen Z, they're having a harder time finding their footing. Meanwhile, baby boomers, they are the wealthiest generation on the planet. Not to be morbid now, and I mean no disrespect, but what's going to happen to all that money when they die? Last week we were trying to figure out who's out there spending like there's no tomorrow. Is it them? They may not even know what YOLO means, but are they living by it? I honestly don't know if we can blame the boomers for inflation. I do know when we say they're loaded, it's not by a small amount. It is half of our nation's household wealth. You don't live forever, right? All generations can agree on that. And as this generation passes, they are expected to leave a lot of money to their millennial children. Estimates suggest a transfer of $68 billion. So things are looking up for us millennials. It's been a wild ride, very different for millennials than the periods of tremendous wealth and extended periods of prosperity that their parents experienced. Millennials have lived through the Great Recession, the pandemic, the current inflation and affordability crisis, all while having mostly stagnant wages and extremely high costs, college, healthcare. But as they say goodbye to their parents, their net worth is expected to not triple, not quadruple, but quintuple by 2030. This might help them pay off the student loans, buy homes and invest in real estate, maybe even afford healthcare, start businesses, vacation more than they already do. And when they do all these things, it creates major waves in the economy, the ripples of which will filter out to a lot of different sectors, from furniture stores to hotels. Here's the thing to consider. Boomers and millennials have very different preferences and lifestyles and spending habits. They spend money in different ways, which will impact markets. Plus, if it's a transfer of wealth from the wealthiest of boomers to the somewhat already well-off millennials, will this movement of money only serve to exacerbate the existing wealth gap? Something to think about. But we should also think about the Zoomers. Boomers will be known as the loaded generation. They enjoyed prosperity that followed wartime. Millennials are likely to be defined by either the financial crisis of 2007 to 2009 or how they came out of the pandemic. It's really a toss-up as to which one was funner for us. Then there's the next generation. We're worried about them a little. Zoomers are Generation Z, and there are about 2 billion of them that were born between 1997 and 2012. The concern hasn't been just about their work ethic, but honestly their mental health. These guys spent their formative years scrolling social media, and it kind of shows. Plus, the pressure's on. Think about the rapid progress of technology during millennials' lifetimes. How could Gen Z top that? Well, the research shows they're advancing their careers faster, they're quicker to ask for raises or just leave and find a better opportunity, and they're doing work-life balance better than previous generations. What's the point of today's post? Well, everyone is really focused on inflation and the affordability crisis, but we also know there's a lot of money moving around. Even before the boomers meet their expiration, again, I mean no disrespect, many are deciding they want to watch their children and grandchildren enjoy their money. So as these gifts and inheritances materialize, demand for all goods is likely to increase and change, especially when it comes to real estate. Will it be a specific type of real estate that gets more popular? Maybe starter homes, but in walkable neighborhoods, or properties like condos that are low maintenance and allow for a flexible lifestyle to be maintained. Eventually, the money will also filter through millennials down to Zoomers. Will those guys even prioritize homeownership, or will they take their nest eggs and invest in other sectors and change the economy even more? For those of us considering our investment strategies, it's worth considering what the next 10 to 20 years will look like based on spending habits. For those of us considering our careers, it's imperative to be forward-thinking about how our consumer will evolve and how we should evolve in preparation rather than response.